Wellness walk just to keep everybody going. Ken, thank you very much, and I am very excited and very pleased to be here today. This is important for Nebraska, and it's important for this county, and frankly, all across our state. As Ken mentioned, but I want to reemphasize, agriculture is the #1 industry in this state. And when agriculture does well, so does Main Street, Nebraska. Scotts Bluff, Gering, all the communities in the Panhandle. And we can't overemphasize how important agriculture is to the future of this state. Now, I also want to recognize and indicate, I think we all know it, but it's worth expanding upon. Today, when you think about agriculture, it's more than just the individual farm and ranch. It's alternative energy. It's the food processing industry. And when we get into those areas, that happens all across Nebraska, even in Omaha and Lincoln. And that's why I try to remind them. They need to remember too, just how important agriculture is. And when you think about where we are today as a state, we're probably in better shape than almost any other state in America. North Dakota might want to make an argument about that, but that's because of the oil boom. But the fact of the matter is, the reason Nebraska stands tall today, the reason we're in better shape than the rest of America, starts with agriculture. And last week we just learned our unemployment rate, which is already the second lowest in America, is now at 3.9%. And that's what I try to reflect on for people. What does that mean? Second lowest, we know how important that is. 3.9. When I tell other governors that, they don't believe me. It can't be 3.9. Well, it is in Nebraska because of our farmers and ranchers, our business leaders, our community leaders who are committed to job creation. And so what we're here today is to recognize what you've done as a county and how critical it is. Because agriculture, again, it's the #1 industry in the state, accounted for $17 billion in sales last year. Livestock's about half of that. And think about what's going on today with our commodity crops, with livestock. Demand is high, supply is low, and prices are strong. Now, I know that creates some problems I hear about all the time that, well, Governor, our assessed valuation is a little higher than we would like. Now, I understand that. County commissioners deal with this all the time. But I also try to share with those farmers and ranchers, well, let me make sure I understand this correctly. You really don't want to pay taxes on that assessed valuation, but you'd sure sell your property for that. Think about what's going on in our state. We've got some unheard of sales right now. I was in York County 2 weeks ago, $14,000 an acre. Now, down in southern Nebraska, dryland farming, nearly $8,000 an acre. Now, 4 or 5 years ago, Greg and I used to hear this all the time. People were complaining to me because people in the urban areas were buying acreages and driving up the price of farmland. That's not what's occurring today. It's because of the productive capacity of our farms and ranches. And that's what's driving the price up. And then think about over the next 40 years. We're going to have to feed about 2 billion more people, probably on less farmland than we have today. Now, it won't go in a straight line, but that trend line is going to be very, very positive. And that's why I'm so excited when I think about what's occurring in our state. Agriculture leads the way. It's going to continue to lead the way, and livestock is right there driving everything that we're doing with agriculture. Today, Scotts Bluff County joins 15 other counties with this designation. And again, think about what it means in the other area that we talk a lot about, Senator Harms and I, and that's how to grow our state, how to create more jobs. Well, the better agriculture does, the more jobs we're going to create in this state and all the associated industries with agriculture. And that means young people like Haley are going to have a job when she is out of high school and college. And that's the other issue we spend a lot of time on, education and jobs. Think about how important education is to agriculture today. You know, it's very, very difficult, quite honestly, to succeed in farming and agriculture today without a college degree. Think about that. The risk management that you're engaged in, the technology you need to understand, water management, there's so much going on, and I'm so proud of our state because we're leading the way in almost every one of those areas. The university is committed to that in helping us as we talk about how do we grow rural Nebraska? How do we continue to expand agriculture? In just a couple of months, at the end of July, the early part of August, I will be going to China on another trade mission, the 11th trade mission that we've gone on since I've been the governor. We opened up our first ever international trade office in Japan. There's so many good things going on, and we want to stay on top of it. Well, that's why I'm so proud to be here today, because your county commissioners, everybody associated with this, has stood up and proudly said, we want to be a livestock-friendly county. And let me tell you something, and Greg and I, Director of Agriculture, Greg Ibaugh, and I were in a meeting with a couple of companies here in the last 60 days, and they want to expand. It involves agriculture. And the very first thing they wanted to say, well, what kind of reception are we going to get in counties all across Nebraska? And I said, well, we've already got 15 livestock-friendly counties. We're going to add more in the very near future. That is a very positive signal to them that our state, our elected leadership is committed to moving this state forward when we talk about agriculture. And so, again, I'm here to say I'm very, very proud of you. Now, at this time, I'd like to ask all the county commissioners to come forward. We're going to make this official. Guys, come on up here. Gering. You got about 2 on each side, to make this look right. The blue suit's over here, and the rest of it's over here. I don't know why we didn't get a designation either, but, I just want to read this because it's so important. Scotts Bluff County, having recognized the significant role that livestock plays in the economic vitality of its economy, and having taken the means to nurture and support the livestock sector of this state, and having met all the requirements of the law, we are hereby designating Scotts Bluff County as a livestock-friendly county. So, I want to thank all of you for that. I'm going to put this back, and now I think it's my responsibility. You want me to introduce the congressman? Or are you going to do that?
I think that's your job.
Okay, that's my job.
That's right. That's what you're getting the big bucks.
That's what I'm getting the big bucks for, okay? Well, I'm very, very pleased that Congressman Adrian Smith is with us today. And I want to share a couple things with you about Adrian. Maybe you don't hear all the time. To put this in perspective, that how fortunate you are in 3rd District, and in particular his home here in the Gering, Scotts Bluff area. You have a young man who is now sitting on the most important committee of Congress, the Ways and Means Committee, and how it affects tax policy, trade policy, and about everything else that goes on in the United States Congress. And he's going to be there for a long time. And every year he's just going to keep moving up in seniority. And his influence and his significance is going to grow with every year and every election. And I want you to know I see him all over the state. Now, the other thing I know the Congressman appreciates, Senator Harms was involved in this, we had to go through redistricting last year. And every 10 years you got to do this. And we just thought Congressman Smith didn't have enough counties. And so we thought we'd add to what he's doing. His district is bigger than how many states, Adrian?
Well, it was 27, so more than that.
More than 27 states are not as big as the district he now represents. And again, he goes all the way from Scotts Bluff, Gering, down to Falls City, and all the way up to South Sioux City. But you know what? He can handle it. And I'm proud of the work that he's doing as your congressman, and frankly, our congressman in this state. And again, when you think about agriculture and how important it is, just recognize he is now on the Ways and Means Committee, what that is going to mean for Nebraska. not just this area, first district, the second district, and the impact that he is going to have on agriculture and trade policy for a long, long time. Very pleased to bring to the podium my friend, guy is greatly respected in the United States Congress, Congressman Adrian Smith. And by the way, he got the memo, he wore his blue suit.
Sorry, nice to see the eyeless. No, it's great to be home. Thank you, Governor. That was very generous, perhaps unnecessarily generous. But, you know, I think back when we worked on this issue in the legislature, and Greg was involved, a lot of folks in this room were involved. Quite honestly, it was a lot heavier lift than it should have been for an agriculture state like Nebraska. But we persevered and got it done, and it's great to see some of the results from a vote so many years ago. What year was that, Craig?
05.
05, okay. But I'll tell you what, I reflect a lot on Livestock America, if you will. That's how I consider our territory here as part of not only feeding our country, but helping feed the world. And other parts of the world are increasing their living standards. They want and need more protein, and we are eager to provide it. And I look at the various battles that we're facing, not only in terms of the death tax, the estate tax, but other parts of regulations that have come about at the federal level that have kind of set back some livestock production from time to time. But the fact is, I think we can move forward with good policies to where we can have a livelihood here that provides a livelihood around the world, a diet around the world that is healthy, that we can provide an efficient means for. And so I'm grateful to be a part of what I think is the solution. That's constantly how I try to look at things, is how can I be a part of the solution moving forward. Sometimes that means making sure that Congress doesn't do anything on a particular matter. It's probably no surprise to you that the most common request I get from constituents is to be left alone. And but looking at the bigger picture, though, certainly we want to be on top of technology, being ahead of that curve in terms of a new way of doing things in agriculture. I think the coming Farm Bill will provide a good opportunity for that. And again, sometimes that means just Congress getting out of the way. So again, thank you for the invitation, Vera. Thank you for letting me come to the courthouse today. It's great to be home, but I look forward to continuing to work with all of you in the future. Thank you very much.